I said that. I said the writer of that Affinity magazine magazine story was a junior in high school. That's who the writer was, advising biracial parents on how having a biracial kid doesn't buy you anything race-wise, and you better be honest with the kid. You know, speaking of that, did the initials RG3 mean anything to anybody? What do they mean to you, Mr. Snerdley? What do you mean the most fizzled quarterback? Now, wait just a second. He's an out-of-work African-American quarterback. He has played. He got his team to the playoffs one year. The Washington Redskins, we happily, loudly say it here. Nobody's hiring him either. Where are the protests for RG3, Robert Griffin III? He's not mixed race. He's full-fledged African-American. He also happens to be conservative, but I don't know that matters. It might. But he's an African-American. He's a quarterback, and nobody's hiring him. Where are the people in the media thinking that the league is blackballing this guy? In other words, why all this attention to Cape? Folks, it's very simple. This is not hard to understand. And I had the opportunity to explain this to some people recently who don't look at events like this the way you and I do. They're not politically in nature. I said, person asked me, why are they so interested in this Kaepernick guy? I said, because he's protesting the country, and that's what makes it news. To leftists, wherever they are, media or elsewhere, this is a flawed country that is just soaking in injustice. And whenever there's an example of it, and if they can really get race involved, then they're going to get behind it and never let it go. And that's what Kaepernick presents them. They don't care about Colin Kaepernick, the individual. They couldn't care less. Colin Kaepernick is the latest opportunity for the left to demonstrate that this is a flawed racist country. And don't forget, the key element here in all of this is the media has mastered the art of making it look like their version of things is the majority version of things. That's why there's so little outrage or opposition to the media, because you use the Indiana state religious freedom law, or the case of Kaepernick. They make it look like the overwhelming majority of the American people are also mad at the NFL owners and mad at the league and think that Kaepernick's being discriminated against, when in fact it's the exact opposite. A minority of people think that Kaepernick's being shafted because of he's not being shafted. He walked out on an existing contract. The 49ers offered him a contract, a 2-year deal worth a lot of money that he's never going to get now, even if some team does. He walked out on a deal. They didn't fire him. He walked out on it as part of his protest. But even if he hadn't, you say RG3 can't play. Well, Kaepernick can't either. Kaepernick hasn't been able to play the last 2 or 3 years. He did show potential. But that's... And if a business doesn't want to hire somebody who's going to disrespect the flag in America, why should that business do it? Why should that business be made to hire somebody like that just to satisfy the media? But a lot of businesses cave to things like that by supporting the Southern Poverty Law Center or what have you. You know, it's the way the world works. But so far, the NFL is not responding to that kind of pressure. Because the roster spots are too valuable, and this guy can't play. And the fact he may not want to, given the fact he walked out on a deal, the 49ers